Hello, my name is Miranda Wise, and I'm the writer and producer of the story that you are about to watch. Do not forget to like, subscribe, and share. Okay, so I hope you all enjoyed the show as much as I enjoyed writing it. And take care. I'll see you on the other side. Bye bye. Chapter 13. Darren opened the door, allowed the bunch into the house. Taryn took off towards the stairs the minute she entered. Taryn, where are you going? Heidi scolded her. The child stopped in her tracks and turned around.
Oh, she's fine. They can go upstairs. It's not like they can break anything.
Darren, I just don't want them running
They're
all over.
fine, Heidi. They're fine,
He said, touching her shoulder. The children were amazed by the huge house. By then, Darren, Jeff, and another friend of theirs had laid carpet throughout the house. Even the stairs were carpeted. The place looked much different than it had 18 months ago. They heard the children above them running around playing.
What colors do you think the living room should be?
Are you asking me?
Uh-huh.
Well, what if I decide on something you don't like?
I don't think that's possible.
I would make the living room shades of champagne, beige, and yellow. He took her around the place and she gave him her input. Once they were done, he took the family out for dinner. The kids wanted pizza. Darren was not big on pizza, but for their sake, he agreed. He and Kendall talked about sports. You know I play basketball, right, Mr. D?
What position do you play?
I play guard.
Oh, okay. I played center.
Yeah, so why don't you play basketball as a career? Why you ain't pursue that?
Because I wanted to pursue other things. I played in my sophomore year in college, but I was more interested in taking up a trade. I like building and fixing things. However, I did study world history.
You do a lot of stuff.
Well, thanks, Kendall. But whatever you want to do in life, try your best to do it. And don't allow anyone to tell you that you can't do it.
Mom says the same thing. Darren took the family home. The kids went up to the apartment to go to bed while Darren and Heidi stood outside the apartment building talking.
You're such a great mother. You know that?
Oh, thanks, Darren.
I'm sorry my daughter couldn't make it down.
Oh, that's okay. But when she does, I would sure love to meet her. The night was warm, and there were people hanging out.
Heidi,
Yes, Darren.
may I kiss you?
They locked in a warm kiss. She felt her world spinning as his strong arms wrapped around her. Everything about him was so masculine, and she felt protected and safe in his arms. This is how it should be. A woman should be able to trust a man with her whole being, as he stated before. And she could feel that he meant every word. It showed in his words, his treatment, his confidence, and everything he carried out. Once they came up for air, he stared at her. He ran his hand through her soft hair. Then he leaned down for another kiss.
Heidi,
Yes, Darren.
I love you.
I love you too.
I'll be 45 in a month. I know exactly what I want and where I want to go in life.
She was 8 years younger than he was. And this is what she needed, a mature man who knew where he was going. And you want me?
Every day since I met you.
I'll have to admit, when I first saw you, you sparked my attention too.
And what about now? Do I still spark your attention?
It's more than sparks now, sweetie. It's fire.
Oh.
walked her up to her apartment. Before she opened the door, he kissed her again, and she headed to her room, still reeling from his presence. Heidi dropped the kids off Monday morning and headed to work. She hopped out of the car, started towards the office building, but someone stepped into her path before she could make it into the building. The face was familiar, yet uninvited. Terrence, what are you doing at my job? And she wondered how he knew she worked there.
So is that the type of reception I get?
What other type of reception do you deserve? Certainly not the red carpet.
Oh, you think 'cause you done came up and all of that, you can just...
Hey, Terry, what do you want? What do you want?
I want to see my daughter.
Then you call me and make arrangements. She tried to step around him, and he stepped into her path. He hadn't realized how 5 years of healing had changed her.
You really ain't got cute, ain't you?
Terry, I don't know why you're here. You have my phone number. If you want to see Taryn, call me and we'll arrange for a time for you to pick her up. Other than that, we have nothing to talk about. With that, she walked around him, but Terry wasn't one to lose. An argument at least.
So how long you been seeing that guy?
She turned around, narrowed her eyes at him, and said, "You've been stalking me? What?"
I wouldn't exactly call it stalking.
Still a narcissist.
Some people call it confident.
If you think being a creep is confidence, then have at it, mister.
You can call me Terry.
That chuckle gave her the creeps. But she continued into the building and reached her office. She called Sonia and told her what happened.
What does he want all of a sudden?
Girl, he's been stalking me. He knows where I work. He knows about Darren.
Heidi, that's dangerous. You might need a little bit more than mace. I don't think it would do the job for a rabid animal like Terry.
No, girl, you listen. No, Heidi, I'm serious. You need a stun gun or maybe one of Darren's rifles. Heidi had seen a gun case in Darren's house in his home office. I guess I could have him take me to the range, couldn't I? I would if I were you. At least have him teach you how to use a handgun. Heidi did not like guns, but if threatened, she might consider learning how to use one. This is the South, girl. Everyone knows how to use a firearm. Right after Heidi got into her car to head home, Terrence called her. Are you calling to schedule a time to see Taryn?
Yeah. How about I take her Friday night?
That's fine. I'll let you know. What time will you be bringing her back?
We'll go out for pizza or something and then I'll bring her back later.
Okay. So, you bringing her back the same day?
Yeah.
Okay. That's fine. Before she could hang up, he said,
Heidi.
What, Terrence?
I do miss you. Do you miss me?
No, I don't, okay?
Nah, for real though, I really do miss you, Heidi.
She could not believe he was so dusty. Dustier than he was 5 years ago. She wanted nothing else to do with him outside of Taryn. Okay, Terry, there's nothing I can do about that, or how you think.
Alright, but let me ask you something. Have you ever thought about us getting back together after we broke up?
She thought, we didn't just break up. You tossed me and my kids out on the street. She didn't voice that because she did not want him to think he'd affected her in any way. Honestly, Terry, no, I haven't. Moving on is something I realized I do well.
Alright then.
She hung up and thought, what an arrogant man. Darren called her right after she hung up with Terry, and that was a welcoming distraction from the toxic conversation she'd had with her youngest daughter's father.
Are you okay? You sound a little stressed.
No, I'm okay. Just got off the phone with Terrence's father. Darren already knew what a bum this guy was. For a man to put a woman and her children on the street was the highest level of cowardly behavior to him. He wants to see Taryn this Friday.
Okay, then I'll wait until Saturday to take you guys out.
Heidi didn't know they were going out. She said, "Oh, really?"
Yeah, I have a surprise for all of you.
"Oh, okay. So how did the closing for your townhouse go?"
That's what I was calling you about. It went well. Me and the guys are going to start remodeling it. We got to pull up the carpet, replace the appliances, all that fun stuff.
And when are you going to get started doing that?
We'll likely get started this Sunday.
Oh, okay. So, can I help?
Sure, I would like that.
Heidi grew excited. Everything he brought to her life was nothing except excitement. Chapter 14. After Terrence picked up Taryn, Heidi, Sonia, and Letty decided to relax in her living room. It wasn't often the women got together, but whenever they did, they caught up on each other's lives. "Do you think Darren is too nice, Heidi?" Letty asked. It seemed that question came out of nowhere. "Why you say that, Mama?" "Because sometimes I think he's moving too fast." Letty was concerned and did not want her daughter to get hurt again. But Sonia said, "Why? Because he told her he loved her, Mama?" See, that's the problem in our community. Not enough men being men. And soon as one acts like a real man, we think there is something wrong with them. I agree. Besides, I'm not going to allow myself to get hurt again. I'm navigating differently this time. I hear you, sis. Do you, boo? Sonia gave her younger sister a high five. Added to that is the fact that I do deserve a good man finally. Well, I do agree with that. Just don't want you to get hurt, girl. I wouldn't want to be responsible for castrating somebody. Mama! No, Sonia, I don't have time for some nigga to be hurting my baby again. Hours later, Heidi found herself looking out of the living room window often, wondering when Terry was going to return with Taryn. She had called his phone 3 times, but it kept going to voicemail. She should have listened to her mother when she said she thought Heidi should get a court order for visitation. But Terry hardly ever called her daughter. She didn't think he was that interested. The other children were in their room sleeping. It was past midnight by this time. She didn't want to wake her mother up and worry her, so she called Darren.
What's up, babe?
Darren, I'm sorry for waking you up.
It's okay. What's up?
Well, Terry hasn't returned with Taryn yet.
Word? Where does he live at?
I went over there, but let's just say that's his last known address. I knocked on the door, and an old man said he had been living there for 2 years now, and Terry no longer lives there.
Did the old man say whether or not he knew Terrence's dad?
You know what? I didn't even think to ask, but from what I gathered, he wasn't in any way affiliated with him.
I'm on my way over.
Oh no, wait a minute. You don't have to come all the way over here just to...
Heidi, let me do what I need to do. I'm coming over there.
He arrived 30 minutes later. As soon as she opened the door, she fell into his arms. He led her to the sofa. Darren, I'm worried. What if something's happened? When I call, it goes right to his voicemail. Darren held her while she cried. By 5 a.m., she realized Terry was not going to show up, and she wondered if she would ever see her daughter again. She had called the police, but because the child was with the other parent, there wasn't much they could do. She would have to fight it out in court. Her hands seemed to be tied. Letty came over as soon as she showered and dressed. Kendall and Brianna ate breakfast, and they were all in the apartment trying to figure it out. Heidi did not want to leave because she wanted to be home if and when Terry dropped off the child. By the evening, Heidi was beside herself. She then wondered if he'd kidnapped her daughter just to get back at her. Darren decided to comb the area, looking for Terry's vehicle, and put some of his boys on the lookout. Jeff and a couple of his other buddies were on it. Chapter 15. Darren combed the entire city and surrounding counties. By then, the police had no choice but to be on the lookout. Darren got up Sunday morning and headed out again. He didn't bother calling Heidi to tell her he was back on the mission. Fillmore County wasn't that large, but there were at least 400,000 people in the county, and there was a lot of country area along the suburbs and urban areas. He was sitting at a light when he happened to look to his left. He spotted the dark green tattered BMW in the parking lot of a convenience store gas station, the same one Heidi described. He made a U-turn and headed to the other side of the highway. He hopped out and approached the vehicle. Nobody was inside the vehicle, so he headed into the store and looked around. He pulled out his phone and took another look at the picture Heidi had sent him of Terrence. When he saw the punk, he was going to plant his image into the wall like the cartoons. It wasn't about the other man's rights as a father. It was about him hurting Heidi. Most men would not be that protective of women, especially some black men. But if men did not hurt women so badly, they would not need such protection. He looked around in the store, but he did not see anyone inside except an older white woman buying coffee. He approached the cashier and showed him the photo of Terrence.
Excuse me. Do you know if this guy came in here?
The cashier looked at the phone and said, "I don't know. I was in the back of the store. I just arrived like 5 minutes ago."
Who was out here at the cash register while you were in the back? I want to speak to that person.
"Nah, I'm here by myself, man." Darren looked outside. The green BMW was still parked there. Whoever parked it there was still in the store. He wasn't stupid.
Do you know who owns that car? That green BMW sitting there?
The cashier looked towards the outside and said, "No, sir, I don't. That car's been there for a couple of days now." Darren thanked the man before leaving. Now he wondered if Terrence had parked the car, got into another car, and took off somewhere, knowing the police would be looking for that car. The pain Heidi would go through knowing that scenario was possible caused him much pain. But the cashier said it had been parked there 2 days. Terrence had had the child since Friday night. He headed back to his vehicle and pulled out. Jeff called him.
Hey, what's up, Jeff?
"Just checking on you, man.
I've been out manning, but I haven't found anything. I got my wife to do a search on Terrence Carpenter. He's from there. That's why I'm out here scouting. But he must have switched cars."
Darren went on to explain that he had found what looked like Terrence's car, but the cashier stated the car had been there for 2 days. He'd had Taryn for 2 days. Friday night must have been when he ditched that car. He headed out of the parking lot and down 10th Street, leading him across the 311 bridge.
Now, we don't know what kind of car he's looking for now, huh? Yeah, but hey, thanks, man. I do appreciate you. You're welcome. Let me know if you need anything else. You have your wife and kids. I don't want to be... Man, I owe you. When I was in the military, you looked out for my sister. That dude would have killed her if it hadn't been for you. Come on, Darren. I know, but go home and hang out with your fam. I'll be in touch.
Terrence hid behind the store, covering Taryn's mouth with his hand until he saw Darren's gold Suburban leaving the parking lot and headed down the street. The child cried. She struggled, trying to break free of her father, but she couldn't overpower him.
What are you crying for? What are you crying for? I told you everything's gonna be alright.
I wanna go home.
I'ma take you home. I'ma take you home. But you'll never see your mother again if you keep acting stupid. Now let's go. Let's go and quit crying.
He grabbed her hand and headed around to the front of the store and headed back inside.
That guy is gone now.
The cashier said the moment Terrence entered. What Darren didn't know was that the cashier and Terrence were cousins.
And you owe me for that.
Terrence reached into his pocket, pulled out a crumpled $20 bill, and tossed it on the counter.
That's it? That's it? Cheap nigga. What did you tell him? And you better not lie to me. Oh, relax, man. I told him the car had been there for 2 days. Alright, you better have. I better not find out you told him nothing else. But you still owe me, Terry. Huh? Put it on my bill.
He yelled as he headed outside to the car. He shoved his daughter in and drove off. Chapter 16. No, I probably won't be coming in tomorrow, Janice. Do you mind covering for me? Oh, you know I will. Heidi was happy to see Darren on the other side of the door. He explained to her what happened at the convenience store. Although he knew this information would be painful to hear, he had to be honest with her. He explained that he would stay on that mission with her. He arrived at work the very next day. Heidi had told him she wouldn't be going in, and he would be checking on her from time to time.
I heard about what happened,
Myrick said.
Yeah.
Was all Darren offered.
Man, I'm not trying to be funny, but do you think this is all worth it?
Darren was setting up his work area when he heard that comment from Myrick. He furrowed his brows and turned around and said,
All worth what? What are you getting at?
Oh, come on, D. All this baby daddy drama, getting with a woman with kids always has its issues. And I'm not trying to insult her or nothing like that. I'm just stating facts about situations like this. You feel me? Darren stared at him long moments before saying anything.
You live your life, and I'll continue living mine the way I please.
Myrick raised his hands as if he was surrendering.
Okay, I'm just here for you.
Darren got the impression that Myrick relished in this just to prove he was right about Heidi. Darren could not cave to that type of toxicity. He continued working, ignoring Myrick, and trying to forget they even had that conversation. He used his lunch break to once again comb the area. He thought about taking the drive down to Manning, but he knew he wouldn't have time. He could do it after work, but he knew Heidi needed him with her. He returned to that convenience store and noticed the car was gone. Curiosity grew. That meant the bum had returned to pick up that car. He headed inside the store. This time, a young woman was behind the counter, and he approached her.
Hello, young lady.
Hello, sir. What can I get you? He pulled out his phone and said,
Have you ever seen this guy?
"Yes, actually I have.
Oh, okay. So, do
He
you.
comes in here every morning buying coffee, like almost every morning.
What time would you say that'll be?
About 7. Well, this time he had a little girl with him. She looked to be maybe about 7 or 8.
Oh, really?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, young lady. I really appreciate your help.
Oh, you are welcome. And by the way, can I ask you something?
Sure.
Are you married, single, or involved with someone?
I'm not available, but thank you.
Darren could not wait to get back to Heidi with that information. His first instinct was to lay in wait on Tuesday morning and bum rush him. But if he had his daughter with him, that would not be a good idea. Darren had been a renegade back in the day, and he still had a lot of that inside of him, but he knew when and where to react that way. She opened the door. I thought you would have been back at work by now.
I think we might be able to get your baby back soon.
Oh, really? What happened? He explained to her what he had found out at the convenience store near the downtown district and what the woman told him. So can't we just go over there?
I think he'll be back tomorrow at the same time.
Heidi was hopeful, but this still worried her. He took her into his arms. She did not deserve this. She was a good mother and a good woman. She never would have thought Terrence would kidnap Taryn.
It's gonna be okay, Heidi. It's gonna be okay.
I sure hope so, Darren. I'm so worried.
We'll get her back.
And thanks for being so supportive and thanks for your persistence. It feels like someone just snatched my life away from me. I miss my baby so much. He hugged her again. There were times when all a woman needed was to feel protected, loved, and supported. Heidi had worked hard pulling herself up, and it angered him that a man would try and pull down a woman like that.
I know. And you know what? He's gonna be sorry.
Chapter 17. Her father kept her locked in the room. She was only allowed to go to the bathroom, and he brought her food. It started off as a fun Friday night. He had taken her to her favorite pizza place, then they went for ice cream, and he'd bought her a brand new tablet. He had asked her if she wanted to spend the night. She told him she wanted to return home, and that's when he turned into a monster. She cried for her mother, and that's when he locked her in the spare bedroom. He now lived in an apartment. He had lost his house to foreclosure a couple of years after he and Heidi broke up. He drank a lot, and at times he passed out drunk in public. Taryn knew the more she cried, the more she angered him. Her survival instincts told her to start being calm. She knew he was trying to hurt her mother. She had to figure out how to get back to her mother. She looked out the window. He lived on the second floor. Could she jump? She wondered. She had seen Kendall do that when he snuck out one night. She wondered if his method of escape would work for her. Terrence passed out on the sofa. When he woke up, the TV was still on, and the house was dark. He didn't know what time it was. He had drank a few beers. When he sat up, attempting to land his feet on the floor, he landed on a bunch of beer bottles. He had forgotten to feed Taryn. He headed to the kitchen and turned on the light. The clock read 9:42 p.m. He opened the refrigerator and eyed its scarce contents. Then he closed it. He reached into the cabinet and pulled out a can of ravioli, opened it, and dumped the contents into a pot. He turned on the stove. He headed to the bathroom, before knocking on the door.
Taryn! Taryn! Taryn!
He used the key and unlocked the door. He looked around the room. She was gone. He noticed the window was wide open. He hurried towards the window, and that's when he noticed the bed sheet that was tied to the bedpost. She had used that as a rope to make her escape. He looked out the window and saw the screen lying on the grassy area near the bush. He hurried downstairs and out of the building. He looked around, but she was nowhere. He didn't know how long she had been gone and figured his drunken sleep had given her a head start. He headed back to his apartment, slipped on his shoes, and turned off the pot. He grabbed the keys and hurried back outside. He drove out of the parking lot, making a right. He looked around, trying to spot his daughter. When Taryn made it out of the apartment, she took off running. She wasn't familiar with her father's neighborhood, and she did not know which way to run. The only thing she knew to do was to stay out of sight. She wanted to ask someone if she could use their phone, but she didn't know who to trust. She kept running, but because she hadn't eaten all day, she didn't have much energy. She stopped near the back of a restaurant. All of a sudden, she heard a dog barking. She hopped onto the dumpster, frightened. The dog kept barking. He tried to jump up, but she was too far up. She was frightened. She started crying. "Leave me alone, dog. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. Go away. Please leave me alone. Please leave me alone. Go away." She found herself in a standoff with the stray. She was too scared to move from the dumpster. The restaurant where she was had closed, and she knew nobody would come out and rescue her. After 20 minutes, the mutt scurried off down the street, leaving her alone, but she was still too frightened to move. It was dark, and she didn't know where the animal could be hiding, so she remained where she was. It was a good thing the dumpster was too high up for the dog to leap. Terrence was livid by the time he returned to the apartment. Not because he was so concerned about his child, but because she had outsmarted him. He tossed the keys onto the kitchen table, reached into the fridge, and grabbed another beer. He hadn't been to work all day, and he knew if he did not show up on Tuesday, he would be fired. He sat down on the sofa and tried to think of where she could have gone. He kept drawing a blank. He didn't know his daughter well. He realized that was apparent because he had underestimated her ability to launch an escape. What bothered him most was that she was a survivor like her mother, Heidi.